This is a challenge to create an army for Dragon Rampant. So, I've been playing Wargames for a while, well, collecting armies for Wargames for a while, and I love creating a new army, but I just I feel like a bit bogged down at the moment. So, I've decided to have a challenge, see if I can create an army. I want to do it for Dragon Rampant because you can pretty much fit anything in. But I had three main rules that I wanted to do. I wanted it to be a complete army with a story and a background and a theme. I didn't just want it to be a collection of models that didn't really make sense. I wanted it to be cheap. So I didn't want to spend hundreds of pounds on it. The cheaper the better. And I wanted it to be really easy to paint. So I've had a few ideas and I've bought the models and I'll show you what they are. So I had an idea for the theme of the army. I got some halflings from Wargames Atlantic. They were a free gift on the Miniatures Wargames magazine. So I just got a sprue. And I was trying to rack my brains of how they could be part of an army. And I had the story of an ancient king had given the halflings some protectors for their lands. So they could have their own lands and protect them. And I thought, what would be cool would be some giant statues. And the halflings make these come to life when they're threatened. So I got these guys. And the army came from there. And the good thing about Dragon Rampant is you can pretty much fit any unit into an archetype. So I can now use a reduced model count. So I can have a command base of a few halflings on a base and have the rest of these giant lumbering statues that they're brought to life. So I quite like that. So I bought the models and we'll have a look at them. With the halflings, I wanted to have three of these on a base. There's quite a good miniature we can use as a wizard there. I like that head. And I can have a wizard and his two bodyguards that have awakened these stone statues. I quite look forward to making these. I really like them. I didn't want to do a whole army of them, but I think they look brilliant. And you know what? Once I've put these together, I might change my mind and want to put more in. But I'll be using these. The great thing about Dragon Rampant is you can use reduced base sizes, so I can have a command base and it still be as effective as a normal unit. So for the main troops, I'll be using these Norman Infantry from A Call to Arms. They're a decent sized models and they were quite cheap. Here they are, and they will tower over the halflings. So I did want them to look like massive statues. So I'm going to use these as my main body of troops. The bases I wanted to use were 40mm MDF bases. They're a little bit different to the normal ones. I wanted this to be a standalone project and look different to my other armies, so I've done them on round bases for fantasy. So I've popped these on here. I'll have to do a little bit of trimming around the base, but they'll fit on nicely. And looking at my halflings, I can fit three of them on a base quite snugly and they won't look silly. So, in total, the bases cost £3 for 22. The Norman Infantry cost £7, and you get 60 models in there. And the halflings cost £6 or £5.99. So that's £17 in total for the price. So what I'm going to do next is go through Dragon Rampant rulebook. I'll have a flick through and we'll see if we can find the correct rules for these guys to put them nicely and get an army list and see how many models I need to paint. For the Dragon Rampant project, I've decided to have a bit of a change of pace. So I bought Originally, I bought some 40mm bases, and these Norman miniatures wouldn't quite fit on them. So what I've done is I've bought some 50mm bases, circular ones, and they'll fit on. I just thought that would look better, and it'd just save a lot of hassle trying to fit them on. And when I put the halflings on, they'll fit a bit better. So they cost an extra £3.50, I think. So I think my running total is about £20 and change. But hopefully they'll look a lot better and they'll look a little bit more impressive. I've had a flick through the Dragon Rampant rulebook, and I've decided on the composition for the army. So I wanted to make the recommended 24-point army, and that's got to have at least 4 units, and one of them is designated the Warlord. So I've decided on my living statues are going to be units of lesser war beasts with a mystical armour upgrade, and I'm going to do these in units of 3 models. I think they'll look appropriate. So they're 6 points each, so I was going to have 3 of those, so that's 18 points. And for the halfling command base, this is going to be a heavy missiles unit, and they are going to have the magical upgrade blessed weapons to represent like the fireballs and magic that the halfling wizard is going to be firing off. So that in total that will cost 6 points with the 2-point upgrade on the 4 points. So that's 4 units at 6 points each. So that's my 24 and my 4 units minimum. That's 24 points in total. So that is 9 large statues and a base of halflings. One of them's going to be a wizard. And it's 2 bodyguards. So yeah, that's 10 bases in total. I'll be able to bang those out. So yeah. This is the completed halfling command base for my Dragon Rampant project. It's 3 halflings. They've got bows, the bodyguards have, and the main wizard has got a staff, which I'd imagine is his staff of office, and he'd use that to wake up the walking statues. So it's a bit of a basic paint job, but it will do. I can go back and touch this up as well, because it's only 3 models. But I've just blue tacked them to the base for the time being. And yeah, it's on to making giant walking statues. With the Norman Infantry that I was going to use as the giant statues, I've put them on the bases, the 50mm bases, and I've painted them. I haven't based them up yet. I'll do that with every single model in the army, but here they are. So I wanted them to look really like mossy and really weather beaten, like they've been standing out in the wild for hundreds of years. What I used was some Vallejo earth texture. I watered this down, and I also used the good old typhus corrosion. This is what I used to make the moss, and also painted over that and dabbed it with various greens and yellows. So yeah, this is what they are. This is the size next to the halflings. So they'll look much bigger. They'll look like giants. And this is the size next to a Perry Agincourt Knight. So they're a big old size. So what next is I'll just have to glue everything to the bases completely and then base them. And that'll be the Dragon Rampant project complete. So I've finished flocking the bases. I've done them with a light green flock. I've done these on all the bases, so, and they look okay from a distance, but I'm not really a big fan of it. I think it washes out, the bright base washes out the colours of the statue. So what I've done, as a little test, I've painted over one of them with a brown base. I need to fill that in a bit more, but it's brown, so it makes the model pop a bit more. With the brown base, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint all the bases brown, and then I'm going to flock them with some brown base material over the top, and hopefully that'll give it a slightly better texture, and the darker base will make the lighter model pop a bit more. And hopefully that'll work just as well on the halfling command base as well, although they're going to be a bit of a pain to paint in the middle. So this is the completed army for Dragon Rampant. These are my halfling command base. I've flocked all the models with a brown flock that I had floating around, so that didn't cost me anything. And because there was only 10 bases, it didn't use up too much. The darker base also brings out the lighter statue, so they look a lot better. I was going to do a little bit more on the statues, but it is what it is. I didn't want it to take ages, and they're moss covered statues is what the effect that I wanted to go for. So yeah, it's a different way of doing an army. I might do it again with Dragon Rampant. I just need to have a bit of inspiration, but yeah, this is just a way to get a slightly different way to build an army from what I normally do. There they are next to a human, so they're massive, so they'll look like a group of giant statues, so they'll fit in. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. It's a bit longer than normal, but yeah, it's just I hope this maybe inspires someone to make a slightly different army for Dragon Rampant. That's what it's there for. It's perfect for just having an idea and running with it. So you've got some rules to run an army with, so you could have an army of anything really. And I think that's the beauty of Dragon Rampant. Yeah, this is my completed army, and thanks for watching.